Listen, learn, create your own destiny. Create the life you want. See the future, want the future, have it now. Welcome to the Manifest Change podcast. And here's your host, Brooklyn Storme.
Thank you so much for pushing play on another episode of Manifest Change. It's so great to have you here. And today I'm super excited because we're going to be talking about this idea of seasons reflecting where our business might be at any given time. And the reason that this is really fun and cool to talk about is because it helps us have some perspective over what's going on in the business. It helps us to understand that nothing is permanent, that things will always change. And with that understanding comes reassurance, comes appreciation, comes empathy, comes celebration, and comes hope. And I think that that's all really, really important. I mean, without understanding that it's very normal and it's very realistic and it's very reasonable for things to be changing in your business, what can happen is we can feel like we're not doing it well, or we're not doing it good enough or right enough, or we can doubt ourselves and doubt our ability, and that can lead to other sort of ripple effects that perhaps aren't so great in the business. So let's have a think now about the seasons, and we'll look at each one individually and consider the energy that that is bringing to your business, or how it's showing up in your business for you, and what you can expect after each one. So starting with winter, which happens to be my very favourite season. This is the season that freaks everybody out. It's that time in your business, and it can happen. It can be really short. It might be one day in the week, or it might be a week in the month, or it might be a month in the year. It's different for everybody and everybody's business, but it's that time when everything feels dead. Everything feels really quiet. You're not making the sales. You're not seeing the clients. Nothing's changed. You're still doing all of your normal systems and processes that normally work. But for some reason, you're not calling in clients. You're not generating turnover. There's no appointments in the diary. There's no engagement on your posts. It's just crickets. As I said, this is the time of the year that everybody gets really nervous about, and I think our initial reaction is to do more. We think, oh gosh, we panic, we think, we're going to be broke, the business is going to fail, we must have done something wrong. And so we hit the panic button, and what happens then is we think to ourselves, oh my gosh, I have to be doing more. So we start looking at creating more programs, more services, creating more offers. We look at posting more content. We look at creating more PDFs to give away as freebies to, inspire our audience. We look at, maybe we need to do more in terms of in-house work on our systems and our admin and our processes. And we panic. It's a lot of busy work that's driven from desperation, that's driven from poverty mindset, that's driven from scarcity mindset or lack mindset. And you know as well as I do that any action that's coming from that energetic space is only going to attract more of that sense of desperation or lack. So I know it feels like you should be doing something, but what I would suggest is use this winter period to do winter things, like go on a holiday. If it's already quiet in your business, if this is a time of the year that's predictably quiet, for example, you always know that July is a quiet month in your business, it would make a lot of sense to take your annual leave, or to take your holiday or take your break in July, because it's not going to make a difference. It's much better you take a break in a quiet period than when the business really needs you. So that's one thing. And I know this from my experience too. I taught at a number of schools in the Middle East, and it was really hot. It was like, over 50 degrees Celsius there. And, when it would come to different seasons, they would have different holiday activities to do and things like that. And so one of them was, of course, to get out. And so even in their winter, we would leave because it got, well, for them it was quite cold, for me it was still quite hot, but we would leave. It was like the whole of Egypt became really quiet because, everybody would leave. So take a break if you can. The other thing to do is really take advantage of the quiet time and use this to catch up on some of the things that you don't get to do when it's really busy. When it's really busy, maybe you're not getting to look at your financial processing systems. Like maybe you've been with Square, for example, and you want to look at PayPal, or you want to look at Stripe, or maybe you want to look at how you recover lost payments. Maybe you want to look at how you recover shopping carts that haven't been completed and things like that. You can't do that when the business is really busy and it's really pulling on your time. So this quiet period is a great time to start looking at some of those behind the scenes things that if you invest your time in them now, they're going to help you streamline and smooth everything out when it gets really, really busy. The other thing that's really wonderful about a winter day or a winter period is this quiet time can be reinvested in your learning. When you learn a new skill, when you learn something for your business, maybe you learn about how to create a sales page, or maybe you do a one-day workshop on something in your area of interest or in your field, in your business field. What happens is you can then provide more value to your customers, to your clients, to your audience, as well as grow yourself, So there are lessons that you can absolutely learn. So winter is really, really good for having a rest, for updating some of those behind-the-scenes systems, and for using this time to invest in your learning and development. After winter comes spring, and spring, as you can imagine, is full of growth. This is when it's all happening. You're in your creative zone of genius. Everything is just flowing, and growth can look different depending on where your business is at. So, for example, perhaps you've had some feedback from clients that they're experiencing a particular type of problem, and so you want to develop a program for them. You want to develop an online offering for them, a new course for them. You want to create a new product for them, perhaps. And so you're growing your offering, okay? You're growing your menu of services. Maybe if we look at a different facet of your business and we look at your team, maybe we're growing in terms of recruiting. Maybe you've been a solopreneur for a long time and it's all just getting to the point now where you're starting to generate a little bit of money and you want to reinvest that in growing the business, and you choose now to recruit a virtual assistant. Or you choose now to outsource your bookkeeping to a bookkeeper, or maybe you choose now to hire a contractor that's willing to work with you when you have work to give them. Okay, so there's this type of growth there. Maybe you're experiencing financial growth now. Maybe the hard work from previous seasons and previous months is now starting to pay off, because when you first put something out there that it generally can cost a business money, especially if you're a new business. It costs you money to hire somebody to create all your funnel or your sales page, or it costs you time to learn those skills for yourself if you're doing it for yourself and things like that. But now what's happening is we're starting to get some return on that investment. So the money is growing, the financial side of the business is growing. There's generally a sense of expansion. Perhaps you're trying lots of new things now. You're feeling very inspired, and you're just in this flow state and you're feeling super excited and super happy. What comes after spring then is, of course, summer. And summer, think about summer. If you're in Australia, our summer is all about spending time connected to the environment. So it's going on hikes, it's being at the beach, it's having perhaps a barbecue, it's spending time with friends, it's a lot of socialising, it's a lot of skin. We're trying to get tans, where our hair is lightening up and going blonder. People are happy, they're days are longer. We have more sunlight in Australia, so it's generally a really happy time. And so in your business, this is reflected by that time of prosperity, by that time in your business where you're just enjoying it, you're on top of it, everything is going really, really well. And summer looks like you're tracking things, okay? You're tracking your inquiries, you're tracking your sales, you're tracking your conversions, you're tracking your advertisements. Everything is getting tracked. And this is setting you up to make changes in autumn. And so autumn, traditionally, if you think about autumn, what comes to my mind is a beautiful big maple tree, and it's got the leaves on it that are changing from green to deep red to deep orange to yellow, sometimes to white, and they're starting to fall from the tree, and they're making this beautiful multicolored tapestry carpet on the floor underneath the tree, and it's just beautiful. So in your business, autumn looks like a release. It looks like you're taking time to sit down and assess the last 12 months, and you're looking at what has worked, what are we going to keep, what leaves are going to stay on the branch, and what are we going to release? What are we willing to let go of? What's no longer working for us? What's no longer serving us? And that can look like anything really. And maybe it looks like the way that you're approaching your advertising. You want to let go of Facebook ads and you want to try doing Insta stories. Maybe it looks like, the team's just no longer aligned with the bigger vision of your business. Your business is evolving, right? Your vision is going to be evolving. Your mission is going to be evolving. Your why is going to be evolving. But your team are generally going to stay the same. And so what this can mean is that over time, as your business is evolving, there are going to be situations where people that joined you in the beginning no longer feel that same alignment to the vision that you have today. And so this might be around looking at how do we look at making change in our team now. Do we need to let go of systems perhaps? Do we need to let go of some processes that we've got? Do we need to let go of some of our offerings? Are we offering too much? Is what we're offering not speaking anymore to our clients because our client demographic has evolved as the business has evolved. So autumn is not a scary time of business. Autumn is really important because it's about checking in with the business, checking in with your clients, checking in with your team, and seeing what needs to be updated, seeing where we're at, and looking at how we can then start to prepare to make changes. And this is what happens in the winter, isn't it? So we've got this whole cycle growing, and it's just really, really beautiful because it's always turning over. It's always turning over. And I love it because even I sometimes panic in my business when I have a quiet period with a particular aspect of the business. Maybe I'm getting a lot of engagement on Facebook, and then, 1 or 2 days go by and there's hardly anything, and it's crickets. And I question that, and I think, what do I need to do to change this? And I can panic. So I know what it's like. But you get comfort from understanding how your business is reflecting different seasons, because it informs you about how you can change. It gives you parameters and context to build the business from, and that's really, really special. So just to recap, winter is really about having a rest yourself, giving the business a bit of a rest, learning, investing in your learning, and looking at the lessons that you can take then into spring. Spring is really around growth, having that growth mindset, growing your client base, growing your Facebook group numbers, growing your raving fans, recruiting your team members, It's really around expansion of offers, expansion of services, expansion of how you're connecting with your clients and your team. Summer is enjoying all of that good stuff. It's the playful time of your business. There's prosperity. Things are coming to you. Opportunities are coming to you. People are inviting you onto podcasts. People are inviting you to guest blog for them. And autumn is all around checking in and saying to yourself, okay, what's working that we're going to keep and what are we willing to release? Thank you so much for listening. I would encourage you to have a think about, where your business might be sitting day to day, month to month, week to week. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me and I'll absolutely get back to you. I'll pop show notes at the end of the podcast for you to click on with links to some other free things that we've got as well. So we have the free Facebook group. If you're wanting to develop this a little bit more, you're absolutely welcome to join. The group's called Prosperous You. We've got a beta 90-day boot camp coming up on attracting dream clients. So if you want more information about that, please get in touch. Also, we've got the workshops coming up in Brisbane on June 24. We've got them happening in LA mid-August, and then we've got them happening in Malaysia and Mumbai in September and October. So that's all really exciting. And then if you're wanting to go a little bit deeper yet again, of course, you can apply to be on the waiting list for the next round of coaching. It only opens 3 times a year. And we're full at the moment, but the next round of coaching applications comes in September. Not everybody who applies gets accepted. We only work with clients who are really serious about up-leveling, really ready to implement, really ready for change, and really ready to, partner with us to do the work. But you're absolutely welcome to apply, and if you're successful, we can absolutely pop you on the wait list for September, which is so cool. All right, guys, I hope you found this really interesting and helpful, and I wish you all the best for a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening. Take steps now to manifest the life you want by checking out the show notes. If you've loved this episode, leave a review on iTunes. Here's to manifesting change.